English. If you're new to our channel, consider subscribing, liking, and sharing our videos so that you give us a kind of support. أعتذر كثيرا لأنني تأخرت في تنزيل هذا الفيديو، ولكن بإذن الله سيكون فيديو جد مميز ومهم ومفيد في نفس الوقت. إذن I will ask you this question. How old are you? How old are you? Of course, you're going to answer me and you say, I'm 13. You are 13 years old. Okay, let's look at these pictures. What, are they 13 years old? هل هؤلاء الأطفال 13 سنة؟ No, they are not 13. So, what are they? They are children. Very good. They are children. أطفال or kids. Children, kids. Now, what is the singular of the word children? مفرد كلمة children. It is child. Very good. Child. طفل أو kid. Okay, we say child. It's not shield. It's a child and a kid. The plural is children for child, kids for kid. Okay? Alright, now, if I ask you to tell me something about your childhood when you were a little kid, إذا ما طلبت منك أن تخبرني شيئا عندما كنت طفلا صغيرا, which tense do we use? أي زمن ستستخدم? Of course, you're going to use the simple past. Simple past. So, in this video, we're going to see different things. في هذا الفيديو سنرى أولا regular, irregular verbs. Then, pronunciation of final ed. The negative form, the interrogative form, how to write a paragraph about childhood memories, and finally a competition, منافسة. Okay, آخر شيء ستكون هناك منافسة. فإذا كنتم مستعدين فلنبدأ معا. Alright. First of all, we're going to start with this simple task. سنبدأ بهذا التمرين البسيط. I complete with played, spent, helped, visited. This is the short paragraph. Let's read it together. Last week, my grandparents in the countryside. Nice moments there. With my cousins, and my grandpa in feeding the animals. Sorry, here it's animals, it's not animals. Okay? So, what would you say? Alright, stop the video for a while, then try to answer this task yourself. أوقفوا الفيديو للحظات. حاولوا حل التمرين بأنفسكم ثم عودوا إلى الفيديو. Alright, now let's start. Last week الأسبوع الماضي. My grandparents. I played, spent, helped or visited. Very good. It's visited. زرت. I visited my grandparents in the countryside. What is a countryside? It's the opposite of a city. We've got a city and a countryside. Okay? Countryside or reef. Nice moments there. Very good. I spent أمضيت nice moments لحظات جميلة أو أوقات جميلة. With my cousins. What do you do with your cousins? Of course, I played with my cousins and helped. Very good. And I helped my grandpa in feeding the animals. Alright, Very good work. So now we're going to analyze this paragraph. نحلل هذه الفقرة معا. First of all, let's look at this word. Last week. Last week. What does it indicate? It indicates a certain thing. What is it? Very good. It indicates the past. It indicates the past. When I say last week, الأسبوع الماضي. So what do I say? All these verbs should be put in the simple past. جميع الأفعال يجب أن تكون مصرفة في الماضي. Good work. Now, let's have a look at these three verbs. Visited, played, helped. There is one unified thing here. What is it? It's this final ed. جميع هذه الأفعال تشترك في شيء ألا وهو final ed. Good. What about this one? Does it contain an ed? No, it does not contain an ed. There is no ed. Good work. Now, let's listen once more to these verbs. Visited, played, helped. What do you recognize? All right now, so since we have analyzed, let's start together. Simple past. الماضي البسيط. In the simple past, we've got two categories of verbs. لدينا مجموعتين من الأفعال. We have regular verbs and irregular verbs. What does it mean, a regular verb? Regular verb هو فعل منتظم. It means it does not change. لا يتغير. Okay? What did I do in the previous task? We said played, visited, helped. ماذا فعلنا؟ حافظنا على الفعل كما هو اللي هو stem plus ed. إذن أضفنا ed لكل فعل. Very good. For example, we have the verb to live. To live. It is a verb in the infinitive. Okay? هذا فعل غير مصرف. In the infinitive. Now, if I want to conjugate any verb, I need to omit this to. يجب علي أن أحذف هذه to. ثم أحتفظ stem or the base form of the verb stem. What do I add to this stem? What do I say? I lived. She lived. He lived. We lived. They lived. So with all the personal pronouns مع جميع الضمائر ماذا يحدث؟ الفعل بدون to of course زائد ed. هنا بما أن الفعل already ends in e donc نضيف d فقط ولا نضيف ال e لأن هناك الفعل ينتهي ب e. Okay? On the other side, for irregular verbs الأفعال الغير منتظمة سميت بذلك because they change. يتغيروا. هناك من يتغير جذريا من يتغير منه حرف. So we will talk about that later on. Now, time markers. It's a very important point that we should talk about. Time markers. In the previous video we said last week. قلنا last week. When I say last week, it means الأسبوع الماضي. إذا أفهم بأن جميع أفعالي ستكون في الماضي وهذا جد ضروري لمعرفة الزمن الذي تصرف فيه الأفعال. Alright, now let's speak about these time markers. First of all, we've got yesterday, البارحة. We've got last بما معنى الماضي. Last week الأسبوع الماضي. Last month الشهر الماضي. Last year السنة الماضية, etc. So we've got last, it means it's a simple past. Also we've got years ago, سنوات مضى. 5 years ago, 7 years ago, it depends. In the past, and for example in 1997 it means a year in the past. So whenever you find one of these time markers, say that your verbs should be put in the simple past. So this is in general. Now we're going to focus on regular verbs. سنقوم بالتركيز على regular verbs and we will talk about irregular, etc. So now let's focus on regular verbs. For regular verbs we said that stem plus ed. الفعل نضيف له ed. This is a regular verb with all the personal pronouns. Now let's revise the previous task. I said I visited, I played, I helped. What do you hear? ماذا تسمعون؟ It is an ed. هي ed. ولكن what are the sounds الأصوات that you are hearing? We said played, helped, visited. So number one, we've got helped. It's t. Number two, played. It's d. Number three, visited. It's id. Okay, so this final ed, هذه الed الأخيرة هي دائما تكتب ed. But when we speak about the sounds, عندما ندخل علم الأصوات، الصوت الذي نستمع إليه هو ت د id. إذن هذه الed ممكن أن تنطق ت د or id. عندما نفتح slashes، هاتين السلاشز ما بداخلهما ليس بحرف بل صوت الحرف. Okay, so now this final ed is pronounced either t, d or id. Let's have this clarification. When do we pronounce final ed as t? متى تنطق t? Final ed is pronounced t after verbs ending in voiceless sounds except t. إذن عندنا voiceless sounds وهي الأصوات السلسة التي تخرج دون vibration without a block in the air. بكنش لا يوجد هناك توقف في الصوت. For example f it is released with no block. لا يوجد هناك توقف، لا تنغلق الشفتان أو يحدث هناك vibration. Okay, ما عدا حرف ت. Okay, so we have voiceless sounds. For example, let's have these examples so that we understand. Shape. Shape. ما هو الصوت الأخير الذي تنتهي به هذا الحرف؟ It's p. p. صوت p. إذن الإيدي ماذا تنطق؟ t. Shaped. Hoped. Because p is p. It's not b. It's p. p. Then we've got k, locked, liked, f, laughed, photographed. Remember, we said it's sound. تكلمنا عن صوت وليس حرف، لأننا إذا ما قارنا GH هذان حرفان ولكن الصوت الذي يشكلانه هو صوت الF. So we say laughed, photographed. This symbol represents the bathed, toothed. Okay? Then we've got su, danced, kissed, faxed. We've got shu, brushed, wished, chu, reached, watched. Okay, so we have p, k, f, th, su, shu, and chu. This is concerning the pronunciation of final ed as t. Now, when do we pronounce it as d? متى نقوم بنطقها ك d? Is pronounced, d here, it's not t, after verbs ending in voiced sounds except d. So we've got voiced sounds include vowel sounds. So إذا ما كان لدينا vowels حروف متحركة أو voiced sounds ما عدا حرف d here or sound d here, we pronounce it d. For example, Here we've got these are vowels. هنا نتكلم عن vowels. For example, guaranteed, worried, scared, referred, answered, played, a. Okay, so whenever you find a vowel sound, pronounce it as d. Next we've got b. When I compare p with b, here I say these are voiced sounds like disturbed, begged, aimed, explained, clothed, pleased, called, deserved. So we've got here v, and for t we've got f. Okay, here we've got z. It is not s, it's z. Pleased, z. Here we've got the, clothed. Okay, and here we've got b, and the other side we've got p. Now we move to the pronunciation of final ed as id. There are two sounds, لدينا صوتان فقط, which are t and d. Okay, so we've got, for example, acted, pretended. Okay, so whenever you end in sound t or d, it's pronounced id. Alright, now let's have a quick practice. Let's practice together. I classify the verbs according to the pronunciation of final ed. This kind of tasks is usually used in BAM exams. I classify أصنف الأفعال على حسب نطق pronunciation of final ed. Here is a set of verbs, and here is the table, either to, do, or it. So I advise you to stop the video for a while, try to do the task, then come back. Alright, now let's correct together. What are the verbs that are pronounced to? To. Alright, this is the list. Cooked, helped, talked, danced, dressed, milked. Okay, for do, we've got lived, stayed, loved, judged, prepared, changed, studied, climbed, raised. For it, we've got created, decided. Okay, so this is the rule of how to pronounce to, do, it. Voiceless sounds, voiced sounds, to and do. Alright, now irregular verbs. For irregular verbs we said that they change. قلنا بأنهم يتغيرون. لذلك this is a list of common verbs that you can use. We start with to be, auxiliary to be, auxiliaire être. We've got was and were. عليكم التفريق هنا. I was, she was, he was, it was. For where we say they were, we were, you were. For to have, had, to do, did, to go, went, to read, read, to write, wrote, to speak, spoke, to spend, spent, to make, made, to grow, grew, to drive, drove, dream, dreamt, eat, ate, drink, drank, wear, wore, put on, build, built, buy, bought, steal, stole, teach, taught, bring, brought, think, thought, draw, drew. So this is a list of irregular verbs. هذه مجموعة من الأفعال غير منتظمة، ولكن بإمكانكم إضافة الكثير من الأفعال ولا بد لكم من حفظها by heart. Now we go to the negative form, النفي. Let's consider these examples. فننظر إلى هذه let's say الأمثلة. I was not a naughty boy. لم أكن مشاغبا، فتى مشاغب. I did not play marbles when I was a kid. I did not read a story last night. Okay, so what do you see? We've got two possibilities, okay? لدينا auxiliary to be. For auxiliary to be, we do not need anything, just not. لا نضيف أي شيء، فقط not. I was not, she was not, he was not, it was not. They were not, we were not, you were not. Okay? And نضع باقي الجملة لأن بعد was and were لا يمكن وضع فعل عادي. يمكن أن يكون gerund with ing، يمكن يكون adjective adverb but it's not a verb. So to be ينفي نفسه بنفسه، بمعنى نضيف له not فقط. بالنسبة لباقي الأفعال لابد لنا من إضافة did not did. يجب إضافة did لكي ينفى أي فعل آخر. For example, so the rule says subject plus did not plus stem. Yesterday the mother هي subject did not prepare dinner. Prepare هنا stem لا تصرف، إذن did not plus stem. إذا نأخذ الفعل تاعنا كما هو، نضيف له did not وتحصلنا على النيجاتيف form. Turn the affirmative sentences into the negative. So I'm gonna give you 4 sentences here. Turn them into the negative. حول هذه الجمل إلى النيجاتيف. Last weekend, Sally went shopping with her friends. Look here, I have used the keywords last weekend, yesterday, years ago, in the past. Keywords. So the verbs are in the past. Now, since the verbs are in the past, for example, here I've got went. Okay, here we've got was, to be. مش قلنا على to be. Here we've got used to, and here we've got wore. So let's start with number 1. What do we say? Last weekend, Sally did not go shopping with her friends. Why? Because went here should be a stem after did not. تحول went إلى أصلها وتصبح stem, so we say did not go. Let's come to yesterday. The little girl was upset. Was. Upset here, it's not a verb, so was, it's to be. How do we say? Yesterday the girl was not upset. Was not. Okay, قلنا أن to be ينفي نفسه بنفسه, so we do not use did. We just keep to be and we add not. Next, years ago my grandpa used to grow crops in his farm. My grandpa did not use to grow crops. Finally, in the past, my grandma did not wear. The stem of wore is wear jeans and sneakers. Now we're going to speak about the interrogative form. In questions, we have 2 categories. لدينا مجموعة من الأسئلة. لدينا yes or no questions ولدينا WH questions. For yes or no, تكون الإجابة either yes or no. That's why we call them yes or no. For WH questions, there is let's say a complete answer. For example, we've got what, where, who, how, which, etc. These are WH questions. For yes or no, we've got 2 possibilities. Of course, there are others with modals, with have, etc. But I'm going to focus on to be and to do. سأركز فقط على to be and to do. With to be, قلنا لدينا 2 forms, was and were. For to do, we have did. For example, did you revise your lessons? Did you revise your lessons? Yes, I revised my lessons. No, I did not revise my lessons. So you start with did. تضعون did في المقدمة. Of course here it's a stem. دائما عندما نضع did الفعل الذي يأتي وراء did يكون غير مصرف. أين نصرفه؟ نصرفه عند الإجابة، حيث نضع هذا الفعل في زمن do. So here is the past. Revise is regular. So what do we say? Yes, I revised my lessons. Or the negative, did not plus stem. Okay? Next we've got to be. لدينا was or were. هنا اخترت were. Were you a noisy kid? Were you a noisy kid? Yes, I was a noisy kid. No, I was not a noisy kid. So here I asked you, to answer about yourself with to be. For WH questions, we have to add to do. كما فعلنا مع النيجاتيف، عندما نسأل سؤال with one of the WH questions يجب علينا إضافة to do. For example, what did you used to play with? What did you used to play with? We said did plus stem هنا أو هنا. نضع الفعل stem عند الإجابة. ماذا نقول؟ نصرف الفعل في زمن did اللي هو الماضي، فنقول I used to play with marbles. Where did you go yesterday? Where did you go? So now when you omit did and where, go. إذا ما تصرفنا في الماضي ماذا تقولون؟ Yesterday I went to the zoo. When were you born? Were you? هنا نضع were you. So what do I say? I was born in 2007. Now I complete the dialogue. I'm going to give you different questions. You have to answer them. For example, when was your grandma born? Here I said was because grandma is the personal pronoun she. لأن grandma هنا she. If it was you, if I ask about you, إذا سألتك أنت فماذا أقول? When were you born? Where was your grandma born? هنا لدينا when and هنا where. So هنا نسأل على date of birth، هنا place of birth، مكان ميلاد وتاريخ الميلاد. We've got another important question, which is how long ago did she used to live in a farmhouse? Here, she represents the grandma. We are asking about the grandma. How long ago? Ago. How long ago? It describes a period of time. تعبر عن فترة زمنية. هناك سؤال محدد نستخدمه للسؤال عن هذه الفترة. Then we've got what were clothes made of? Okay, so here we have used the auxiliary to be, was, and here were. And here, since it's a verb or a semi-modal, I have used the auxiliary to do in the simple past. So stop the video for a while, try to answer these questions, then come back. Alright, question number 1. When was your grandma born? How do you answer this question? كيف تجيب على هذا النوع من الأسئلة؟ أولاً with to be يحدث هناك تغيير بين الفاعل والفعل. عندما نسأل باستخدام to be نعكس الفعل والفاعل فيصبح الفعل ثم الفاعل. ولكن عند الإجابة يجب إعادة الأمور إلى نصابها. So we start with the subject then the verb. So what is the subject here? It is grandma. Okay. And what is the verb? It's to be in the past. Was born. Good. So what do we say? My grandma. We said your grandma. So what do you say? My grandma was born in 1953. 1953. Pronounce this part alone and the other one alone. Okay? Next, it's the same. Normally, you can answer it. أعتقد أنه بإمكانكم الإجابة على السؤال رقم 2 بما أنها نفس الكونسبت. So what do we say? Where was your grandma born? Where? It's the place of birth. So what do you say? Very good. My grandma was born in Constantine in a farmhouse. You can add farmhouse or not. I wanted to add it because I'm going to ask this question here. This question, how long ago? قلنا بأن هذا هي الصيغة التي نسأل بها عن فترة زمنية. إذن الإجابة يجب أن تحتوي على فترة زمنية. Did she used to live in a farmhouse? So what do we say? She used to live. Used to plus stem. قلنا أن used to هو عبارة عن semi-modal. ماذا يأتي وراءه؟ يأتي stem because it contains to. So to plus stem. The verb is not conjugated. 50 years ago. 50 years ago. Okay? Next, what were clothes made of? Here, when I say made of or mading, what does it express? It expresses material, the material, and it's the same concept كما قلنا في السؤالين الأولين. نعكس بين الفعل والفاعل. So what do we say? Clothes were made of wool and cotton. Okay, let's move to another set of questions. We have where were clothes made? Here it's a WH question, and here it's to be in the past, because here clothes, it represents the personal pronoun they. Where, it's the place, it's not a material. Number 2, what did your grandma wear? Here we've got a simple verb. لدينا فعل عادي إذا ندخل عليه the auxiliary to do in the past. Next, did your grandma play games? Did your grandma play games? So here, what do you have? Is it a WH question? It is not. It is a yes or no. Then, was she an active girl? Was she an active girl? So, you've got 2 WH questions and 2 yes or no. Let's start with number 1, because we said that it's the same concept as the previous one. So what do we say? Clothes were made in the house. It's a place in the house. Now, when you use the auxiliary to do in the past, عند الإجابة لابد لنا من إزالة what, إزالة did. Then what do we do? نضع هذا الفعل في زمن الauxiliary. So what do we say? My grandma wear is an irregular verb. So what do we say? Very good. My grandma wore long dresses and shawls. Let's come now to, did your grandma play games? It's yes or no. So what do I say? Yes, my grandma played games. قلنا عند استخدام did هذا الفعل لا يصرف، ولكن عند الإجابة لابد من تصريفه في زمن did. So what do we say? Yes, my grandma played games. إذن تضع الإجابة كما هي وتصرف الفعل. Next, what do we have? Was she an active girl? Was she an active girl? What do we say? To be يعكس الفعل والفعل. سبب نقول she, yes or no. She was an active girl. إذا نضع she في المقدمة، نضع was في مكانها، ونضع the rest. If it is no, what do I say? No, she was not an active girl. Clear? Good. Now it's time to write a short paragraph about, let's say, childhood memories. سنكتب فقرة بسيطة عن childhood memories. قلنا child هو طفل، childhood هي الطفولة، memories comes from memory، ذكريات. Okay. It's your 13th birthday. Your parents have prepared a surprise party for you, and they have prepared a video about your childhood memories. Your friends at school were invited too, and they asked you to tell them more about your childhood memories. So, in this paragraph, you're going to speak about your personality, your physical appearance, interests, lifestyles, etc. Write a short descriptive and narrative paragraph talking about some past events. When I say descriptive, it means you're going to describe, تصف. And when I say narrate, it means you're going to, let's say, تسرد بعض الأحداث. So we have narrate, narrative, descriptive, describe. ارتأيت في هذه الفقرة أنكم تمزجون بين sequence 1 and sequence number 2. Because in sequence 1 we have seen personality, we've seen physical appearance, we've seen interests. So you can add these as a part of writing. بالنسبة لذكريات الطفولة، أعتقد أنه هناك إمكانية كتابة العديد والعديد من paragraphs. Why? Because كل شخص لديه ذكريات معينة. First of all, we have to respect the format. لازم احترام let's say الشكل العام الذي يتكون من title, introduction that contains a topic sentence, body and conclusion. In the title, it has to be general. It covers the whole topic. For the introduction, You write an introduction. For example, here we're going to speak about childhood memories. سنتحدث عن ذكريات الطفولة. تتحدث عن childhood بصفة عامة. ثم هناك جملة تسمى topic sentence، وهي الجسر الذي يربط المقدمة مع العرض، حيث أنني عندما أقرأ هذه الجملة أفهم بأن العرض أو the body will be about a certain topic. Finally, in the conclusion, you can give your personal point of view. يمكن أن تعطي let's say فكرة خاصة بك، يمكن أن تعطي مقولة، هذا أمر يخصك ولكن يجب أن يكون له علاقة بالموضوع. بإمكانك استخدام العبارات to conclude لأختم as a conclusion كخاتمة، to sum up which means الحوصلة أو الملخص. So these are some of the expressions that you can use. Alright, first of all we have brainstorming. إذا لكتابة أي فقرة لابد لكم من المرور بمجموعة من let's say المراحل. أول مرحلة هي brainstorming، وهي مرحلة جمع المعلومات في ورقة الأوساخ أو في ورقة المحاولات. تبدأ بجمع المعلومات التي ستقوم بكتابة الفقرة من خلالها. For example, personality، تقول بأنك ستحكي عن شخصيتك وتكتب المعلومات. Food, primary school, best memory, place, date of birth, games, physical appearance, clothes, favorite activities, and more. هناك الكثير من المعلومات. إذا يجب عليك أولا البدء بكتابة تلك المعلومات، لأنك ما إن تبدأ بالكتابة تبدأ الأفكار بالتدفق. إذا لابد لك من الكتابة، لا تنتظر، ابدأ بالكتابة في ورقة المحاولات. Next we have drafting، اللي هي المحاولات، محاولة ربط هذه المعلومات في فقرة. Start writing, organize the ideas، وتنظيم هذه الأفكار. مثلا تبدأ سأجمع بين personality and games، سأجمع بين، يجب ربط المعلومات، لا تجعل معلوماتك منفصلة عن بعضها البعض. Next we have revising and editing. بعد ما تكتب هذه الفقرة يجب عليك أن تراجع وأن تصحح ما أخطأت فيه. For example, you check your mistakes like grammar. قلنا بأن هنا we are going to speak about the past. مثلا سنتحدث عن الماضي، إذن لابد أن جميع الأفعال تكون مصرفة في الماضي. So you have to check this. For example, the format or the form of the paragraph. هل احترمت the format? Did I write the title, introduction, body, conclusion? Then capital letters and punctuation، الحروف الكبيرة أو majuscule and حروف أو ترقيم علامات الترقيم. spelling mistakes، الأخطاء الإملائية. تحاول ما استطعت تصحيح هذه الأخطاء. وأخيرا you publish your work، بمعنى تكتب فقرتك الصحيحة. إذا لابد لكم من احترام هذه الطريقة، وذلك لكي تكون فقرة في المستوى. لا تحاولوا استخدام النص وإعادة كتابته لأنها محاولة، لأنك ستستغرق وقت في الكتابة دون let's say fruit، غير مثمر. Okay, so يمكنك استخدام بعض كلمات النص ولكن لا تستخدم كل النص. So now time for writing. سأعطيكم مثال، ولكن لابد لك من كتابة مثالك الخاص. Okay, so do not rely on my writing. It is not my writing in fact. عندما بدأنا بكتابة الفقرات في داخل القسم، كل قسم يكتب فقرة مختلفة، لأن في كل قسم تلميذ مختلف عن الآخر. إذن كل مجموعة من التلاميذ يعطونني أفكار، وهذه الأفكار تترجم إلى فقرة. First of all, we said that we need a title. نحتاج إلى عنوان. Generally, it's my childhood memories. You can write childhood memories. You can write my best memories as a child. إذن هناك مجموعة من العناوين، ولكن لابد أن تكون في مضمون النص. The introduction. لابد لكم من احترام المسافة. Indentation or space. Capital letter. Okay. Let's read together. Childhood is the best part in life because it's full of innocence and happy moments that are rooted in our memories forever. Despite the passing of time, many memories are unforgettable and I'm going to share some of them. إذا هذه مقدمة بسيطة بإمكانكم استخدام مجموعة مختلفة من المقدمات. Okay, so for example here we said that childhood is the best part in life. أفضل فترة في الحياة. لماذا؟ Because it's full of innocence, البراءة واللحظات الجميلة التي غرست في ذكرياتنا أو في مخيلاتنا للأبد. هنا نأتي إلى topic sentence قلنا الجملة التي تقودني إلى البدء. بالرغم من مرور الوقت memories are unforgettable. Many memories. الكثير من هذه الذكريات لا تنسى. And I'm going to share some of them. Donc عندما أقرأ هذه العبارة أفهم بأن الموضوع سيكون عن مجموعة من memories. In the body, you see that I left a space here. تركت مكان وبدأت with a capital letter with a time marker years ago. It means it's the past. Verbs should be in the past. إذا لابد لكم من جعل جميع أفعالكم في simple past. I was a short and slim girl. اخترت مثال الفتاة ولكن بإمكانكم كتابة مثال عن الفتيان أيضا. So, I was a short and slim girl. كنت فتاة قصيرة ونحيفة. My mother used to call me my short cake. I used to. استخدمنا semi-modal used to. So this verb is a stem. I used to put on beautiful dresses. They were colorful, decorated with flowers and butterflies. إذا هنا ترون أنني دمجت بين physical appearance and clothes. إذا حاولوا أن تدمجوا المعلومات التي تكون متوافقة لأنه عندما نتحدث عن physical appearance we can speak about let's say clothes. Next also أيضا I used to be curious and sociable. Curious يعني فضولية يعني تحب تفهم تتعلم and sociable اجتماعية. Donc هنا نقدر we link it with games with activities. نجمع بين personality و activities. I remember كلمة مفتاحية because you are remembering تتذكر. Myself asking tens of questions every day. My mother used to answer all of them. She was so understanding. I had many friends. I used to spend هنا قلنا spend ولم نقل spent. Why? Because it's used to. Most of my time playing outside. We played many amusing games like hopscotch, skip a rope and hide and seek. I loved eating chocolate and sweets until one day I got a terrible toothache. So here اخترنا a memory ذكرى. بإمكانك اختيار your best memory. تقدر تضيف أفضل ذكرى أسوأ ذكرى etc. Mom took me to the dentist who advised me to stop eating sweets and from that day I quit eating them. On weekends I used to visit my grandparents. I loved being with them and I enjoyed listening to my grandma's amazing stories before bed. This is a simple example. هذا مثال بسيط ولكن إذا ما أردنا كتابة الكثير والكثير لن نتوقف عن الكتابة. So this is the body. Finally, the conclusion. We said that يمكننا استخدام أي عبارة من هذه العبارات. To conclude, childhood was a beautiful adventure. كانت مغامرة ممتعة. During which I learned a lot. تعلمت الكثير. I wish I could go back in time to those days. أتمنى العودة إلى تلك الأيام. ولكن هناك different styles, different ways to conclude your paragraph. So this is in general a short paragraph about my childhood memories. Now we move to your competition. المنافسة. ما هي المنافسة؟ إذا في هذه المنافسة أريد منكم أن تكتبوا فقرة عن childhood memories following the steps. تتبعون الخطوات وتكتبوا فقرة وتضعونها في comments down below. إذا في الردود أسفل هذا الفيديو سأختار أفضل paragraphs, not just one, many paragraphs, and I will prepare presents for those winners. سأقدم let's say هدايا للفائزين. إذن ما عليكم سوى البدء بكتابة فقرة ووضعها في comments down below so that you can learn from each other. ستتعلمون من بعضكم البعض عند قراءة هذه paragraphs. Okay, so I wish you will or you would participate in my competition, and thank you so much for watching. I know that the video is so long, but I could not let's say divide it into sub videos. I wanted it to be a full video. So thank you so much for watching. If you like my video, don't forget to leave a comment down below. إذا أعجبكم هذا الفيديو لا تنسوا أن تضعوا let's say comment down below, share and like our videos, and don't forget as well to subscribe. Thank you so much again, and see you